check. Oh yeah. We have a right here? Oh yeah. You go back. Right?
Yeah. I'll jump in.
No. Story today, the last talk, the last discussion. We're ending on a bang. We are going to find out everything about Centreforce, past, present, and a little tease of the future, I think. So I am joined by Cypher, Seeker, and Johnny C here. How are you all, first of all?
Yes, very well, thank you. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, I'm great, thanks.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Awesome. Let's go right back in time. Let's go right back to the very start of Centreforce. What can you tell me? Take me back in time to like your earliest kind of involvement. Because you were an OG, you were there right at the beginning pretty much.
Yeah, from the beginning. Got to know Cypher anyway. We went to school together and we had an interest in music. Basically, I was a bit of a bedroom DJ. This radio station, what everybody was talking about, just happened to fall on my feet and just end up on there with three other people I knew.
So is that just through local connections, or were you invited to them?
That was 1989. I was just turning 19 then.
I didn't realise you was that old.
Well, actually, I was nearly 20. I was born in '69. But the station was absolutely amazing, and I'd not seen Cypher in a few years since we left school, and lo and behold, we met up again on the studio.
So you bumped into each other?
Yeah, we bumped into each other again back on up in Denison Point. I don't think that was the first place the studio was, though, was it?
No, it wasn't.
I think that is where you came in, actually.
That is where we came in, yeah.
That's where I bumped into you for the first time in a long while after school. And got back on it, we had a few shows together. I think we had a long show together a long time, didn't we, Steve? For a long slot.
Because other DJs didn't turn up, or?
Yeah, I think that was probably the case, but it could have been Pasha, yeah, more than that.
Where was the studio? Because obviously studios, it was all, it was pirate, so studios change and stuff like that. I don't want that to be very secretive and not turn up with your record like bags and stuff, and try to be as subtle as you could, really. So what was the studio like? Because some studios got quite ropey, didn't they? For not for Centreforce, but for pirates in general, studios were sometimes, you just shitholes. There we go.
That was horrible.
Got it spot on there, I think.
Yeah, we used to turn up to do our shows with plastic bags, shopping bags, rucksacks, anything, just to cover.
I remember me and you cleaning the studio a few times, yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. We've had to.
There used to be cartons of Ribena all around the edge of the studio, no matter where it was. It was built out. It was probably like four in, like rows of crisp bags, rubbish.
Yeah, so we was in for quite a few different places.
We still have the same problem with the rubbish now, don't we?
Oh, definitely.
You've got to start somewhere.
DJs are just messy bastards.
That's true.
So it just kicked off for myself, and I was with two other DJs and an MC, and we went out and we was trying to find out a name for ourselves. Just got on the station, what were we going to call ourselves? We had individual names, and we just drove past a sign and it said the Corporation of London, and me and the other DJ looked at each other and went, Corporation.
Yeah.
And that was it. So that's what we used, and we didn't look back. We done quite well.
Just kick things off.
Yeah, it was quite interesting when we first went on the station though. Met up with Andy and the rest of the management, and the first show I actually went in and not being big-headed, but I refused to play.
Why is that?
I said, the decks, and they went, what's wrong with the decks? I went, they're not decks. They went, have you got decks? I went, yeah. They went, go and get them.
Brilliant, go on.
So I
What
went
did
home.
they have there? What, just some
They had,
like
they
psytronic things or something?
They had some belt-driven things. What? And then they said, "You got proper decks?" And I said, "Yeah." So I came back. I bought 3 at the time and bought 2 to the studio.
Oh, so
and they
you
were
got
like,
your own decks?
yeah, SL 1200s.
Right, no, so you took your own decks to the studio.
Yeah.
You weren't going to do it unless you had the right tools to do the
Yeah,
job.
exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't, because I started mixing when I was 14, so not being big-headed or anything like that, I'd gone past the stage of using belt-driven or so. I bought
baby decks.
Yeah, I bought the proper stuff. So yeah, bought them up there, and they said, "Oh, what's so different about them?" I said, "Yeah, pick one up." And like, I remember them just like, what's these, do you know?
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to fit, and then we had like crates, and I said, listen, you're gonna have to reinforce them crates, do you know? So we had crates, extra set of crates in the middle, a board across the top.
Wow.
And
so you legitimised their operations, so you levelled them up quite a lot then.
Yeah, because I didn't want them to fall, but they did turn around and say, right, if you're gonna keep them here, anything happens to them, we'll replace them.
Right.
And they did. Because something happened to them at one stage and they replaced them.
Was that
They replaced
related to the
them.
DTI?
No, it was a bit of a dodgy DJ really, but
Oh, nice.
we won't go down that road.
No.
There was a few of them back then, but
There was a lot of DJs on Centreforce who all kind of came through, like Randall springs to mind and stuff like that. There was this was the schooling ground for a lot of DJs who were all coming through in that first wave of first generation DJs. I mean, what are your memories? And what are your memories of the kind of your peers who you shared the station with? I'll go for you. Yeah.
My memories of my peers. When I first came to the station, there was Mr. Passionel, obviously, Johnny Eames, Par Eames, and a few other DJs there. And you know, it was a really, really busy time. It was like a whirlwind. Everything was 100 miles an hour. There was one thing after another thing, then another do. Sometimes I was doing the advertising back then, and it was constantly full on. Every morning there was something to do. But the station just kept on growing and getting bigger and bigger, and it was an amazing time to be around. It really was. It was a really good time.
And such an essential community service. I mean, at the centre of any pirate station is community, really. And certainly back then there was such a vast amount of music that just wasn't being represented. We had that music of black origin, but also cutting edge underground music. None of this was being supported by any of the stations. So what Centreforce were doing, and their rivals and stuff, was providing a community service and pushing that around, as far as they could, really. That's the most important thing, really, isn't it? At the centre of a pirate station, community.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got up one morning and heard this music playing, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, what is this? I'd never heard anything like it.
Oh, go on, so you were converted by pirates itself?
Yeah, so that's how I sort of came into it in the first place anyway. But it was, I think the sequel would probably be able to speak more about the music side of things a bit than me.
Because you'd already been mixing for so long and supplied the decks and stuff.
yeah, I mean, to go back to the likes of Randall, I knew Randall just a little bit before actually he came on Centreforce, and I knew he was, in DJing terms, he was a bad boy. He was a really good mixer, so Centreforce had put on a do at, I think it was Cronin Road, in just round the back of Carpenter's Road, where the studio was. And Randall turned up there, and he done this mix, and basically he put in a reggae tune, Fatty Boom Boom, with another tune, and he turned around and went, get him on the station. that's how it was. Basically, yeah, it was just basically, we've done everything. Do you know what, I'm getting tongue-tied because there was so much memories and so much you know, enjoyment. It was so exciting. It was just totally amazing.
Yes,
just doing it all.
And unlike anything you've been involved in before, really, as well. Like this was life changing for you at the time.
Well, it was because I used to work in estate agents before.
Wow! Yeah, what a career change.
Yeah, that's how I ended up with my DJ name as well. I used to work for an estate agent called Seekers.
Right.
So the name's quite original. And I had an admirer, and she wrote a note to me, and basically she didn't know my name, so she wrote to Seeker, and then that was it. From 17, it stuck.
Wow.
So that's how, you know, nicknames came about. But yeah, in terms of going on the station and playing music, it was just I just didn't want to stop. So when you used to have to do 12 or 14 hours on the radio, it was nothing. It was just so enjoyable. And you used to get pages, people paging in, and the page would come through, and you'd see it come up and say something like, "Can you say this message in 10 minutes time?" Because it'd be running back from the telephone box. So it was just complete. It was just brilliant. It was just amazing. The other side of it was setting up the studios and things like that. So we got involved with that a little bit later, helping out with the management and things like this. So we learned to dodge helicopters and things like this.
Were you involved as well in the kind of transmission then to the aerials and stuff like that? Were you getting up on the roofs or anything?
Yeah. Andy did say to me, can you just make sure you did say this? It is a memory, it's not a fun memory. The first build block on Carpenter's Road, it was really bad weather one night, and we went up and we stopped the station and we was taking the transmitter down, and basically there's a slope at the pitch of the roof, and there's a little slope and a safety barrier at the end of it, and I was edging down and I lost my feet because I went over one of the cables and I hit the safety barrier, and the fencing went, so basically I changed colour. I swore I would never ever go and do or play music again, but the next day I was playing again. So yeah, it's dangerous. It was danger. It was also quite funny sometimes. Like I said, sometimes we used to be putting up some aerials, and then we'd hear a helicopter. So we'd be hiding behind the wall, and the helicopter would be flying around the building, and we were hiding behind, you know, continuously hiding with these long poles, knowing that we're being seen, you know. They'd be like, "It's good, stop where you are. What are you doing?" "Nothing." "Putting up scaffolding." So yeah, there's some interesting stories about studios as well. One in particular, myself, Andy, and another DJ colleague of mine got given an address in a property in one of the flats, and we went up to the door, listened, right, okay, this is going to be our new studio. Kicked the door in, there was a family sitting down eating. So
Sorry.
So yeah, we sort of like looked, and yeah, we had some interesting things, but it was just pirate radio.
Yep.
We weren't out to do anything else apart from just go to play music. That's all we wanted to do, play music to the public and make people dance, and that's what Centreforce has always been about and still doing now. So
I mean, we're going to move on to the new evolution, and there's still stories so far in a moment, but you know, did you have any kind of like death-defying moments or anything like that, setting up aerials or on rooftops, or kicking down doors with families having their tea?
No, I never had any death-defying moments. Some close shaves with the authorities and that turning up for us at various clubs and at studios, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Seeker, we had.
Hold up, you had stuff confiscated?
No, we didn't. I've not had nothing confiscated. Not not in our time, did we? But
No, we didn't.
we was there one time when we got the call for a move, wasn't we?
Yeah.
In the studio, we got the call that the studio was going to get raided, and the studios were set up that way with the crates and all that way because it was a way of taking it apart quickly and moving it. So literally, we had the studio apart within
7 minutes.
It was really probably about, we had all the stuff in the lift and ground floor probably in less than 10 minutes.
Wow.
It
That's
was
disconnected and gone.
We was in the car and off to the next studio. We got to the next studio, but before we left, we was like, oh, London, we're going to have to go. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. I'll see you soon. Shut it all down, packed it up, put it all in the car, got to the next studio, set it all up, didn't we see? Brought it all in, came back down to get the last few bits out of the car. And there was a Bobby on the beat standing there looking at us going, oh, so this is where Centreforce is. Like,
Oh no.
yeah. So we've come back in, pulled all the gear apart again. Thought, see you later, London. We're back in another 10 minutes. Pulled it all apart again, and went to the next place, didn't we?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I do love that kind of spirit of always thinking you had to be like 2, 3, 4 steps ahead and thinking like, right, okay, if we get incepted here, the whole cat and mouse thing was real, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course.
So how long?
So Eric, was it just to talk about the early transmitter days? Was that before Band 1 and stuff and microwave? Were we talking about direct rigs on top of the block?
Yeah, Seeker was
So
talking.
you got no microwave feeds or no Band 1 links?
There was no microwave feeds.
So it's literally straight off the rooftop?
It was straight. There was no protection, nothing like that. That came.
Wasn't there
in,
even band 1? Like,
that came in the microwave stuff, and that came in a little while later.
That
Johnny, all that to to keep the studio secure. That came in. It was a good little while later when
It was, yeah.
About all that. It was.
Yeah.
When you
You had
took on-
Sunrise came on, didn't they? And it really started to heat up, didn't it? Because Sunrise were on 88.7, News were on 88.3, and then that end of the dial just when it went off, didn't it?
There was a channel every couple.
And then Radio 2 come on the 88.2 over in Kent on the repeaters, and then that blew us on. We couldn't broadcast on 88.3 no more.
That's right, because we was giving them bleed over, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
they put that mad sound up. It was like a repeating, echoing
Yeah,
sound.
yeah.
And it blocked out our transmitter. It blocks the whole thing.
But then we then went to 88.4 and made a station called Space.
Yeah.
Came out of Space event,
right, wow.
and people know who we were, but it's just a different name.
Yeah.
Just a different. Yeah.
So how did this kind of chapter of Centreforce kind of come to an end eventually? Because at this point, like there has been a kind of period where you didn't DJ at all. Did you always stay in music?
Yeah, I was always in music because I always had my own little sound going, like completely different. It's a soul thing. It's not nothing to do with house.
Yep.
So I was still functioning with that, carrying on well. Yeah. Obviously, we lost Centreforce. That was a big hit. It was a big hit because imagine every day you're doing something for months and months and months. You're busy. This part,
And for that to go.
you're out 4 nights, 5 nights of the week, and for that to just stop just like that, that was a big hit. It was a big hit.
Was that an intended decision because of moving into events and times had changed and it was harder and harder because of the pressures of DTI, or did that, what was it that kind of caused the end of the actual station?
So it was to do with Radio 1, when Radio 1 decided they were going to change their music policy from rock and pop and classic to dance music. And then that was it, we had no choice, you had to switch off. That was every day that was coming for us.
But it made it harder and harder for you to broadcast, because then you completely ducked out of DJ and you stopped completely then, didn't you, CK?
Yeah, I mean, Centreforce stopped, and I went up to Norfolk. I went there for 1 weekend, and then I staying out there 9 months.
Oh wow.
I went to DJ, and they offered me work there, so that's why I went and done my thing. And then basically when I come back, I just thought to myself, well, the music's changing. Excuse me for anybody who likes garage music. but I detest it. So I basically sorry. No. So anyway, no. As I explained to you, with me as a DJ, I use my turntables as instruments. So the art of mixing, I wouldn't just mix for like 20 to 30 seconds. I'll create my own refixes, and I'll mix for like, and I still do it now.
Have a long running blend.
So I mix for about 4.5 minutes and create my own mixes. So I may leave a record will finish or break for about 32 beats, and then I've got another one coming in. So that's how I've always mixed. So basically, when the garage scene came in, so did a lot of MCs, and MCs would not shut up. So basically, no, it's alright, Eric. Sorry to all the MCs out there.
He's a lovely guy.
Sorry to all the MCs out there, right? No, basically, I went to a venue, I turned up, went to play some music, looked, and there was 4 mics there, and I thought, this ain't for me. I started mixing, I couldn't even hear myself. You just, no disrespect, but you got a load of guys turning around saying different things and telling you to stop the track. I'm doing a brilliant mix and telling me to stop the track. And it's like, oh no, 2 records playing, mate, I'm mixing. Do you know what I mean? So I just thought to myself, I'm coming out of that, so I just stopped.
It wasn't your vibe, it wasn't for you.
No, but I did follow the DJ Mixing Championships, so.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so I've had the love for DJing all the time, but I just stopped. I stopped completely between 93 and 2018 when Johnny.
2007.
2007 you got me back to do One Do. Do One Do, and I still wouldn't do it. I done One Do.
It took me 3 years to get him to come back on.
Wow.
Like constant.
Yeah.
So let's bring you into this now, because you are responsible now for Centreforce's latest chapters since 2007, right?
So yeah, I came on board, I got invited to do a show, and Jimmy Lowe from Public Demand was running the Pirate 88.4, which was broadcasting from about 2007 to about 2012, wasn't it? And I got involved. I'd done a show one Saturday afternoon, and the next thing you know, I got invited back, met the guy, and then basically I just started to take a back seat with the DJing. The studio was terrible. It needed somebody there that knew that this needed doing, and then it's just progressed from there. We're at what we're 6 years into a DAB license. And we've just revamped all the studio, ready to take it in, ready for the next 10 years. So we're well nurtured in what we're doing. And the processing side obviously has changed over the years, which we've tried to keep on top of. We've had a few instances where the pirate radio had to stop on 88.4 because we had a party, a summer love party, and there was some trouble, some people there that caused trouble. So we had to take the radio back off, and then as luck would have it, we got this guy turned up around Jimmy Lowe's house. It wasn't after radio or anything; it was after something else. We won't get into that. And he was involved in running Time FM in Romford. So next thing you know, we're dial sharing with Time FM in Romford. I'm bringing all these guys up to professional studios in Romford, and we just took the night shift over, didn't we? We ran that for about 4 years.
So this was still like kind of late 2000s?
So that was where I learned all my legal side. And that really played a big part in when we applied for a DSP licence. They wanted to know that we'd worked with legal, because as soon as we mentioned that, we was pushed right to the top of the queue. I think
because you were legitimate, you knew what you needed.
We'd been running it like a professional.
Yeah,
we'd been running it as professionally as we could, but without actually being called a business, wasn't it? Yeah. Everybody was working. They all had labels running. They were all making tunes. They've all gone off and done things all around the world. And then it got to sort of about 2018, and we got accepted for the licence. We didn't even have a radio station on, because we wasn't even running, we was doing Facebook Live. So we decided to start an online station, let everybody know that we was back on, and then the rest is history. We got the DAB licence, moved into our new studios, and now we've got 93 DJs live, 24 hours a day a week, 7 days a week.
Wow.
So it just constantly runs live.
That's phenomenal.
So we've got DJs all around the world. We've got in America, we've got DJs in Palm Springs, New York. We've got Sydney, Perth, and also Tenerife in Spain and some places like that. So we've just launched a new radio station in Tenerife. So we've got Centreforce Canaries, and we've just been accepted for the licensing for Ibiza. So we've got Ibiza launching next year.
That's phenomenal, and congratulations on such development. And it sounds like, you know, like from when you took it on in the mid-2000s, you had to do a hell of a lot of schooling and studying. Like you said, you pretty much dropped the DJing in order to focus on the technicalities of actually broadcasting.
Yeah, dealing with Ofcom and the legit side of it is another world. So it is who you know. You have to have you meet a lot of people along the way that you need with you, because you can't do it on your own, it's impossible.
Yeah.
And like we didn't change from FM. We come back on and we done a charity event for Isla. You know, the young girl that had cancer. So we done Majestic called me up from Kiss FM, Majestic. He said, Johnny, come meet us at Andy's pub. We've set up some cameras. We do a couple of Facebook Live things for Isla, because we were going to do a charity do in the pub for her in the following weeks. We had 1 million views within 5 days. We had 1 million views, and I remember Friday night, one really rainy Friday night. I was out on the balcony listening to Daniel Montana playing, and Andy phoned from Tenerife, and he said, you know, he asked me a few questions. I gave him a few stats and a few figures, and he went, we're applying for a DAB London licence. And that was that. Literally, that was what he said to me. I laughed, and I thought, and I was gobsmacked. Right, so you know yourself. Right, so we had the same problem with FM. People wouldn't want to come because they had the chance of getting nicked, and it started to change. They all want to do it from home, but we like to keep that studio. Like we've just spent so much money on the new rebuild, and we're ready to go again. Like in the next couple of weeks, we will see a completely new. Yeah, and then it don't just end there. You're never going to be. If you want to apply for legal, they just won't look at you. So that's, we had to. I've always been a good boy. I've not tread that. I've always, and when this all come along and it came about, I wanted to get the scene, because it was fractured. You had everybody doing their own little parties. Nobody would seem to be talking to anybody. So I wanted to get it all back together again. You know, all the different parties, Fat Controller, all them, you know, the cool guys, because we asked Eastman to take over a whole day, because we knew FM was coming to an end, we knew Eastman was struggling, and we said, you know, come and have a whole day, and Eastman went, I'm done with it, Johnny.
Yeah.
He said, we're done with it, and that was before, obviously, Genius and that come in, and Uncle Doug's, and obviously they've taken it and they run it now.
Yeah.
But it was, you know, it was at that point, because we were looking to fill the whole schedule.
Yeah, bring everybody together, like you said. Legitimising it as well, though. Like, what are the complications? Because this is, you know, like you said Ofcom. Like, it must be so tricky.
So this is where Danny and his son, Danny Master Pasha, he got. I had a meeting with him the following week, and I said, look, I'll take care of all the technical side. You've got to go off, get the investors, get the money, get it talk spoke about. And within a week, he come back with 150 grand. So we had a studio built within a month. The interest we knew was there, and it's not literally just not stopped from then. We've had to upgrade our online server. We're about to upgrade it again So we're on like 10 gigabits with like 50,000 on there, and it's full all the time. You know, UK sleeps, and the rest of them. We've got 192 countries every month, every 30 days.
That's
logging
brilliant.
in. It's all over the world, honestly, it's phenomenal.
It's unimaginable when you go back to like the kind of pirate times and stuff like that, but then there was a lot more freedom when you're doing unauthorised broadcasting. You can say what you like,
Right.
do what you like, and represent the people. But I know Centreforce, you have to tread a very fine line.
So,
like, you know, as DJ, so you've come back into this. Well, how have you found that hosting a show now on a legitimate show?
You guys know, don't you?
You know, what are those? What's the difference?
We were in the first week. I had a guy come on. He played French Kiss with all the sexual noises and all that in it, and then he decided to play the other side, Baby Wants to Ride, and it had the F-bomb about 15 times, and we was on the front of the Guardian the very next day.
Oh wow! Wow!
Yeah.
So this was like during the daytime.
This was during
as
the
well.
day while the kids were on holiday.
Oh no!
So he was my first. He was my first. See you later, mate. Chop. And then I knew it sort of hit me like a ton of bricks. We're not pirate anymore. Like we haven't got that freedom. And it's been a battle. We've had a lot of stuff. We had to take Fat Controller off the air for. How long did we take you off for, Jay? Not long enough. 14 months. So we had a battle. Cost us about 16 grand in solicitor fees. And then we had to bring him back on and put him on at a different time. And obviously Jay's stuck with us, you know.
What did he say? 14
It was a complaint around the time of that lady, the policewoman attack that killed that lady,
Right.
Sarah Evra.
Yeah.
And it was all around that, and there was a comment made. There was a comment made about.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Don't get in trouble.
I won't get in trouble, but I still know it word for word. So many people have asked me. So the actual complaint words were: this woman, whatever her name was, said that I had said live on air, a woman's place is in the kitchen.
That's it.
I know. So
And this was a
what I actually said, I read out someone's text, and here it goes. Jason in Braintree has just texted into the studio. The wife's cleaning in the kitchen tonight, so we're having takeaway. And I just said, hashtag winning at life. How good's that? So, but you do know why she's cleaning in the kitchen tonight, didn't you? So, because she had 2 days off last week. She had Mother's Day off and she had International Women's Day off. So all she's doing is catching up with her chores.
And then that was literally a 14-month battle I had with Ofcom. And it wasn't the best time, let me tell you that. I've had problems, obviously, daytime, our main thing is anything that references drugs, obviously, for the main, you know, and obviously swearing. And it happens, I've had to invest in dump buttons, so just to get around that, it's cost us nearly 10 grand. And I'm constantly on at these guys, sending them the new updated, because it's, in the last year, the list has gone mental. Like you've got all the wokeness has arrived, all the transgender stuff, people calling themselves cats and stuff. It's completely gone mental. So we have to keep abreast of everything, don't we? Tunes like, you know, Eric's on a Sunday morning, aren't you? You do a soul show on a Sunday morning. Yeah. You know, we've got jokers texting in joke names. This is the thing, you know, we had it again last week. You get a plague of people trying to tuck these guys up.
Oh, wow. As if it's not tricky enough anyway, just making sure that you're biting your tongue and keep minding your P's.
Yeah, so
you've got people trying to trip you up.
Yeah, as well.
That's constant all the time on more or less every show.
Well, that's what you can see why I'm just mixing he speaks.
Yeah, he speaks on mix.
We've got a great We've got a great team. I've been cut off. Talking about Ofcom, that is, you see. We've got a great team. We've got a station manager, one station manager that runs the daytime shifts, 7 till 7, and then I run everything after 7. But I'm obviously there in the day, so it's a 24-hour job, 7 days a week. There's constantly someone either in the studio or we're linking someone in. So I've got a guy that helps me, Max Isaac, the apprentice. He come to us from school,
Right.
on a college to school thing.
Wow, so you're bringing through the new generation now
He
and
come to us,
empowering them.
and I took him under my wing, so I'm now teaching him all about architects and how you build layered sound for London Soundweb. So he's going to be a Dante engineer eventually, so he can literally work anywhere on the planet, kind of thing. So
That's brilliant.
It's that
this
kind
has
of
gone
technology.
from like a pirate station to a proper legitimate business where you're now empowering the youth and training up the new generation. That's congratulations.
I don't know
That's a bit of
whether
a-
I'm allowed to announce this, but I'm going to anyway. But we've just acquired a new license for another London DAB station, and we're going to be doing Centreforce NXT, which is the new generation of DJs and hosts. And
Brilliant.
so we're about to, because we get so many DJs and artists contact us, we physically haven't got the space now to fit anybody on. So this has come out of what we're getting and we're seeing, the traffic now with the youngsters, and they
so
can see,
important. This is
well,
so
they can see
important.
there's a different side to pop, because every time you tune into that radio, it's pop or it's old Heart or Kiss or whatever, all that. I don't know who listens to that. I really don't. My mum and dad don't even listen to that. They listen to the radio. So I don't know. But we're at a stage now where we've just rebuilt everything. We're about to switch everything over to new processing and sound, ready for the next 10 years. So
I think that's really inspiring to go from where you come from to have such a legitimate organisation and to be a success and to navigate all of these regulations and everything at the moment where everybody is so skinned and budgets are hard, times are hard, to be able to do that and to be able to make it a success and set in place an infrastructure and a network and a culture for the new generation.
Yeah.
Let's have a little round of applause, please, for Centreforce. That's wicked.
So
Congratulations.
like Danny Swallow and his son Danny, I'll give him his dues. The first 3 years that we was on, we basically wanted to run, but without the hassle of having to find advertisers or sponsors. We wanted them to find us and come to us. So we was the sponsorships that we got in, that Danny got in, paid for the first 3 years. So we didn't have any hassle. We didn't have anyone coming up to us going, "Oh, what, you got no advertising?" So the first year,
You can really stretch your legs and twist things
the only
out
people
and
that
work
wanted
out
to
what works.
advertise were people that we knew, our mates that were doing raves. Because you listen to Pirate, a lot of Pirate, it's all like your raves and stuff. But we had to try and take that to businesses, aggregates and all that kind of stuff.
That's where it gets tricky, isn't it? That's where, like most of the time, if you're doing something out of pure passion, then to go out and try and find advertisers and commercial partners, like that's something that I've found it very difficult to do as a brand owner myself. Like it's hard, like that. The corporate side, you either thrive in the corporate side or you thrive in.
So
this
we're
side.
lucky with the guy that we've got working for us. He used to work for Juventus football, and he used to work for Glasgow and all that big football clubs. So he's like done all that side of stuff that we need. He knows how to bring people in, sponsorships. So our sponsorships and advertisers don't come on for like 2 or 3 weeks. They sign like 6-month deals, and it's unheard of in radio. We just signed a new deal with Carillion that have just supplied us all of our TV monitors, touchscreen. They've just signed another 4-year contract with us. So it's completely unheard of in radio. It's like they want us to succeed more than, just as much as what we do.
Because you're trying something new. So this is a new model for businesses to see.
Andy and Danny run the parties, so the parties are completely separate to the radio. So they control all the parties. The first party we done, we announced it, and within an hour it was completely sold out. So we were just looking at each other thinking, wow. And since then, in the last 5 years, every party has sold out. So we're doing something right. The weekend we put a party on and no one turns up, then we're going to look at each other.
Red flags. But No, I think it's amazing, and I wish you all the best of luck, really, with everything. It seems like there's a lot of exciting things. Like if you were to come here for the next rave story, there'd be a whole other load of updates. It seems to be moving really, really rapidly.
Well, we'd like to come back because obviously Andy and Danny apologise for not coming today, and hence I'm here. And these guys,
yeah, thank you for stepping in at the last minute.
Yeah. But obviously, you know, these guys with the history before and the history, because I worked alongside Danny and Andy, you know, for the last 10 years, and obviously we've just signed a new 3-year DSP licence, so we're ready to take it again into the next. We've got more stations coming on as well, more UK locations.
Amazing.
And we are always looking at becoming UK national, but you're looking at 40 grand a month.
Well, just in DOD.
Yeah, so we're not quite at that stage yet, but we will be. We're aiming for that. So full UK coverage.
Wow. Well, and that's the price. Like that's an investment when you're paying for those licenses. You've got to be working at the level you've just described and have that many DJs and represent on that level and be that professional because it's so much of a monthly investment.
Well, we do Mixcloud TV as well, okay? So I deal with the guys at Mixcloud. I know the guys that run that. So we deal on a beta side. So we test a lot of stuff out. And we're getting sort of like 3-4 million hits on there every day.
Wow.
Just through passing traffic. Yeah, they've got 20 million. They've got a 20 million user base on there. But we've just smashed with #1, all the charts. We've just basically took it over. You know, I deal with them guys. I like Will and everyone at Mixcloud, and they love what we do. So we're going to see a lot of things coming in the future as well, in collaboration with Mixcloud. Tune-in radio, obviously, they've come over. They flew over from America to come and see us. They had a meeting with us, Sky TV, and Talk Radio, and that was it.
Wow. That's the levels.
Yeah.
That's the levels.
So we're now brand partners with TuneIn. So we are a major radio station over in America. So our second biggest base of listenership is America, which is unheard of. It's UK radio stations in America. You just don't.
Yeah. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And could you have imagined any of this when you were on Centreforce back in the day? In the original days, was any of this even imaginable? Or even that there'd be events where you'd be sitting in an audience talking about it to people, that there'd be enough
Well, I
interest?
came to a rave story and watched Uncle Doug's and that with my friend Gordon over there, and it was about 10 years ago, wasn't it? At the aquarium. Did you do the one at the aquarium?
I've come on board in the last 4 years, I think, so yeah, I didn't go to that one. I was aware of it though, aware of what Bunter was doing, but yeah, back in '89, could you imagine that it ever would have kind of accelerated or developed and manipulated or mutated into the beast that it is now?
You couldn't imagine it, but I could feel it. I had a couple of occasions where I could feel it, and I just knew that there was something special going on. Yeah. So it was hard to. You couldn't predict something like this, you know. But I knew there was something special going on.
It was here to stay.
Yeah, there was definitely something special going on. You could feel it, couldn't you? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Could you feel it, Seeker? When you was playing the
No,
music?
you took all that time off. Like, what did you do during that time as well? Back to estate agents?
No, I just became a builder.
Oh wow, God. So we went from selling houses to building them.
Yeah, I'd, just done a few different things. I've had some bad health throughout my life. I had a really bad knee and I had like 9 operations in 23 years. That was another step back for me as well. I've got a recurrence of it now. That's why I came back on in 2018 and I went off for a bit. I had 4 hernia operations. Health hasn't been too good, so now I'm back and I won't leave him alone now. So no, I love it. I just love the entertainment, love Centreforce crowd, love the family. That's it. All I can do is just thank Andy, the management, Centreforce, for putting us on the map and putting us where we are. We're sitting up here talking to you today in front of a few people. Obviously, we've got that documentary.
Yeah, we've got a film. Sorry, we've got a film. Andy's just finished filming the Centreforce film.
Brilliant.
It's probably more about Andy, really, but He's got a lot of the Centreforce stuff. I know you guys done. We was up the orbit, weren't we, at the Olympic Park? So we done some videos and stuff. But yeah, it's that's going to be. We've had a book come out, didn't we? Had a book come out about 2 or 3 years ago.
Book, yeah.
2 years? What is that? Two?
Couple of years.
2 books. So we've had 2 books come out as well. You can get them on Amazon if you were still available. So it's there's a lot gone on. Filming. We've got a collaboration with Reebok coming.
Wow.
We've just done a little thing with them down in London. We've done an exclusive. Artists and that kind of party, but we've got that coming with them in the next couple of months. So yeah, things are really. We've got our glamping weekend in May, and in May it will be Centreforce will be 34 years old. 34.
Wow, go on. What a legacy and what an exciting future as well. So thank you very much for joining me. Everybody please give these men a round of applause. What an awesome story.
Thank you.
There we go. Do we have any? Yes.
How did the name Centreforce come about?
He's going to know that, isn't he?
I think that's something to do with the football side.
It's to do with the other side.
Yeah.
Football.
It's to do with What's it to do with football?
He knows already. He knows
Yeah, I
already.
think he knows already. We had a big travelling fan base that used to go to away games using intercity trains, and it all sort of stemmed from that really, the intercity firm and Centreforce radio. But the true is it along them lines, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. But yeah, that's just you'd have to ask Andy if you want more info on
You
that.
don't really get a lot of sense. You don't really get a lot of sense out of them from back then because none of them really knew what they were doing anyway.
The first block was behind the petrol station at Stratford, the SO station, wasn't it?
The SO in Stratford.
That was the first block, and then it moved to Denison behind.
And then
I think
Denison Point was the main block, Denison. That was the main block. It was only broadcasting for 10 months in total.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Centreforce only ever was on for 10 months. And I know it seems like it was on longer.
Yes.
People, when you say that to people, well, it's only on for 10 months. They're like,
So there were other activities around it then, the parties.
yeah, well, the gas club come about and Hermit and all that. They launched that, and the labels all. So it all just sort of progressed on. Randall and all them guys, they all went on to Kiss, didn't they?
Yeah.
And all the DJs just sort of went global, done their things. And then we had the label, Public Demand label, obviously doing New Class A with Top of the Pops and all. I remember everything I had down there, that was hilarious. So you had all them days with all that stuff. So it went a bit commercially ravey, didn't it? That kind of hands in the air kind of thing. Yeah, I went off and done a drum and bass label. I was working with Prison Technology. So we was doing stuff, all that drum and bass stuff we were doing then.
Right, brilliant. There we go. This has been the final chat of Rave's story. Thank you everybody for getting involved and coming and watching the talks and stuff. I know there's some amazing DJs downstairs, so thanks for choosing to spend some time up here. But most importantly, please thank these men for spending their time and sharing some of their stories.
Thank you. Thanks, Dave. Thank you. Thank you.